Good morning. Welcome to Gruber Power Services Power Hour. My name is Claude Dixon.
And I'm the only one, Elvis Venter.
Elvis Venter is with us again. Hey, this is our 11th podcast. I cannot believe it, over a span of 2 months here. And I want to begin, as always, with a shout out to our viewers. We were at 267 YouTube subscriptions last Friday. And now we're at 305, and that's a gain of 38 in basically 6 days. That's pretty amazing. Wow. So we want to thank you guys for doing what you're doing out there, spreading the word, helping us out. You know, we want to continue to grow this, and we just want to, say thank you for your efforts there. Again.
Wait, really? Just thank you?
Yeah, just
a thanks, a pat on the back, and job well done?
That's it. Yeah, that's all we ever get,
Claude,
right?
I think we could do better.
Okay. What do you got in store? What do you have in store for us?
Well, first of all, I'll say 11 weeks ago we were at 0.
That's true. That's true.
So we're growing either way.
Yeah.
You know what I think we should do? We're at, 305 right now?
Yeah, 305 and a half.
Wow, and a half.
Yeah, this thing here. That's the half.
That's our new subscriber.
Right here. That's the
I
half
love
right
it.
there. Yep.
I think I'm going to propose a challenge.
Okay.
Do you accept my challenge?
I'm always up for a challenge.
Okay. I think we should, really, I think this is a good way to put our money where our mouth is, or better, our gifts where our mouth is.
Ooh, gifts.
Oh, there it is.
I think everybody likes the sound
My
of gifts.
kids never turn down the gifts every time.
And
even when they're bad, they still get them.
And it's not even Christmas.
Exactly. Wow. Christmas come early in August.
Okay, so what do you have in store for us then?
So we have, 11 days already in August. For what's left in August, we would like to finish out on September 1st. We would like to see if we can get to 500 subscribers.
Ooh, that's a mighty challenge right there. That's a mighty challenge, but I'm always up for a challenge like that.
I was just going to say.
That's 100 a week.
Claude.
Who does that?
In miles or subscriptions?
Well, exactly.
Exactly. So you
that's
could
a
do
good
it.
one.
So we could do it, because I've seen you do a lot more in hiking in other places. So I think if you could do that, I think we should challenge that. And, if we can get 200 within the next 2.5, 3 weeks.
No, you said 2 weeks.
Yep.
By September 1st. So don't add to it. See, he's already starting to soften up on this thing now.
I'm not, I don't know. It's August 11th. So we got about 2.5 weeks, right? My math is a little off, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is by September 1st, if we reach 500 subscribers, we're going to give away some gifts.
Yes. And Elvis brought these gifts here, and we just want to show you a few of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think they're pretty cool. I think you guys will like them.
Yep. And it's a raffle, and we're going to release more details once we get to the 500. Look at that. Yeah,
you got a little handy dandy bucket hat here with the Gruber Power Services logo on it. That's one item for you sun people.
And you wear these more than I've seen anyone. You sport these on a day-to-day.
Yeah, I'm a bucket hat beanie person.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I got
a few of these myself. I love them.
Yeah, you see these right here, this thing right here.
And by
the way, we don't do cheap stuff.
Nope.
Okay, this thing is thermal insulated. It will keep you warm. It's not going to be a thin cut type thing.
And I know it'll keep you warm. Watch this.
Yeah.
Look how good it looks on this.
Exactly. You see, and that's the lady in you right there, that hot pink right there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And the guy that's just feeling daring.
Yeah. And one other item I want to show. We have several more, but I just want to show one more.
Look at that.
I think everybody likes hoodies. So here's one right here.
I have 3 of these. I love them. And I love the design and print.
Yeah. Hey, that backdrop of the sun makes the thing look really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
And cozy.
That's pretty amazing.
With the sun and wearing one of these. And here's the thing. There's a few more things in that gift bag. So if we get to when we get to 500,
right?
Because I believe it, because now we've incentivized the situation. When we get to 500, we're going to have a raffle, and we'll release the details and more information on September 1st.
But you're missing something.
Uh-oh.
Okay. We need help.
Yes, we do.
Because Elvis and I can't do it on our own.
No, we can't.
So we're going to solicit your help to help us get to 500 in 2 weeks. And then, of course, we'll go ahead and do that raffle. Now, how are they going to contact us?
We're gonna we're gonna release the details, and we're gonna give a lot more information on September 1st with emails and more information. We're gonna do a raffle, and we're gonna do it by the book. But to your point, which I 100% agree, is it's up to you guys to get the word out, to share the video, share the page, and I believe we're gonna do it because I know me, you, and other people have been working really hard just to grow and just to make this podcast available to many. So now it's time for the people that watch, because you saying their praises, I'm singing their praises. Now I said, now it's time to live up to the challenge.
Right. I'm all for it. Let's see what happens.
Let's go. So, I like it.
So just before we get started with the detail
Claude,
we're going to cover, yes.
Claude, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
We actually have a milestone on TikTok for you guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a video hit 17,000 views.
Really?
Yes, it was our second to last one on our TikTok channel, the Gruber Power Services. So
Really?
just wanted to say congratulations to you guys on that.
17,000.
17,000.
Which one?
It's called highly valuable capacitors. Do you remember the one that you had in your hand, the capacitors inside the
Parts room.
Parts room?
That was one of my favorite ones where you brought them in.
Oh, the one that blown up? The one that
Yeah.
blew up? Oh,
No,
no
that's a
wonder.
different story.
That was the flux capacitor in the.
No, you made it out alive from
No, I
this
know
one.
which one you're talking about. The
Yep.
one that looked like I had something Arnold Schwarzenegger would be shooting with,
Yep.
right? Something like
the
that.
something
bullets,
like that.
the big
Yeah.
bullets.
So
That's-
congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So-
Man, look
Good
at
work,
that.
gentlemen.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull it up for you real quick. You should see it on the screen out there. I
Ooh,
know,
I'm loving it.
kind of hard to see, but give me 1 second.
No, I remember this. Look, you were flexing and all. That is great. 17,000 on TikTok.
Look at that thing.
Yeah. We were having a great day in the parts. Remember, it was like a kid in a candy store. We were picking out so many things to showcase, and that one made the top of the cake.
That's interesting.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you guys, production guys, what other platforms are we on again? I mean, you got TikTok and what else?
All right.
We're working with TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
Okay, that's
The
great.
trifecta.
And that's
Exactly.
and those shorts are on those other. They're on the other platforms as well, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, give me 1 second. You guys are gonna see me for a second. I'm gonna get that other camera out of the way.
Okay.
Okay. But this is great news. I mean, we're growing at a great rate. And and this is and the whole thing with the raffle thing is to show our appreciation
Mhm.
because all the the milestones we're hitting and
Yeah.
what we want to just
And we
give back
and
and-
we started with 0.
with zero. You have to
Yeah.
start somewhere.
Yeah.
First time when you took, we went on a big hike together. Never did one in my life, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a little sketchy, but we went and did it. First one I ever did with you.
Yeah.
That was our 0, South Mountain.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one.
16 miles.
Yeah, you ran out of water on that one too, by the way.
I drank all yours. I didn't care.
Exactly. Wow.
I love it. So that's great news.
Yeah.
So let's kick off the show.
Let's get going. Now, remember, this comment I'm going to make, this statement I'm going to make right now is vital to the success of this podcast, in
Very
my
important.
opinion. And that is this. Elvis and I and the production guys back here, well, they're experts, but we're not.
Okay, thank you.
We're not. Elvis and I are not
Mild
experts.
adjustment.
However, we are in the industry. We work in the industry on a day in, day out basis. So, we have our flavor, we have our experiences that we're sharing with our audience, but we are not experts, meaning that you guys have experiences too.
Yep.
That we would like to hear. You have, positions on things that we present, and we want you guys to chime in, ask questions, and share your own experiences. That is what this is about, and
Correct.
opinions. Okay, we're not afraid of opinions. Everybody has one. I left out, what I left out on that particular quote. It's not appropriate for this, although maybe later, once we get comfortable, I might say it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah.
But what we'll say
Well,
is that
you're
we're
not
not
one.
experts.
You're not one.
Okay. We're not experts, but I'm going to use my kids' words and what the hip kids are using on the streets. We're not noobs, is
Yeah.
what they call them. Not beginners, a noob.
Yeah.
We're not a noob. What they do in video games and that's what we're not. So we may not be experts, but we're not we live in this world. We
Exactly,
day to day,
exactly.
we work with so many different types of clients and scenarios. So we may not be, like you said, but we're not the noobs. And that's a word we use all day in my
Yeah.
house with the kids
Yeah.
to goof around.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it.
Let's go.
We're going to follow up on a question that came really, really late that we did not address in the last podcast, and that was, what is the difference between wiring batteries in series versus parallel. That question actually came from one of our production crew members here, Aaron, and we didn't have the diagram, so it didn't make sense to share it with you because some people are visual and they actually need to see it on paper. So before we show you that visual, just a couple things regarding parallel and series. The difference is the impact between the output voltage and the capacity or amp hours of the battery system. Okay, that's the main difference. The total available energy in both scenarios remains the same. We'll talk about that a little later. And here's another one that we see from time to time in the field. And all the batteries in any of these scenarios should have the same voltage and capacity ratings. In this case, it would be 12 volts, okay? The capacity is the amp hour. So an example I'll use is 100 amp hours. You shouldn't have one in there that has 80 amp hours and 100 amp hours.
No mix and match like that.
Yeah, and even the date codes should.
That's important.
Yeah, should theoretically be the same as well as the manufacturer, because batteries they're alive. You have sulfuric acid inside of these batteries, and temperature activates them. So, being an old production guy myself, I remember we used to have two real high-profile production lines. We used to run Lay's potato chips, one through one fryer and the other 5,000 pounds through the other fryer. You go down and look at the finished product, it looks entirely different.
Yeah.
Okay, so that lot would all go into a specific amount of bags as well as the other one. Batteries are no different. That's got to be consistent or you will run into problems.
Yeah, and we appreciate Aaron. He gave us homework. He challenged us, and it goes back to exactly what you started. We're not experts, but we're very eager. We're always willing to learn. Yeah. And with Aaron's question, that enabled us and triggered us to let's learn more about this. Let's give the audience and ourselves, let us educate ourselves.
Exactly.
And that's what happened. And Aaron, I really appreciate that because I had to do some homework, and I haven't done it in a few years since I left school. So thanks, bud.
Okay, can we put up image 007?
Oh,
image 007.
You already have the glasses for it.
Yeah, hey,
James Bond.
And while they're working on that image, they don't have the next James Bond yet. They're trying to find a new James Bond. No, the guy that was going to do it said, I don't want to do it.
Henry Cavill?
Yeah,
Superman?
Yeah. So now they're looking for one now. I don't know who that's going to be, but that's the reason why I used that number today. So there you go. Look at this right here. Okay, this is, and we want to keep it basic for everybody. Okay, so this is an example of batteries being wired in series. If you look at the 6 batteries there, that consists of one string. That's one string because they're all tied together.
Yep.
Each battery is 2 volts. Okay, so for the scenario to be a series application, you're going to add up the 2, the 2, the 2, the 2, the 2, the 2, and that equals 12 volts. The amp hours, which isn't on this particular slide, remains the same always in this scenario. Okay, and
so if it's a 2 amp hour, let's say 2 amp hour, it would still be 12 volt with 2 amps only.
Correct.
It doesn't change.
Correct. And that long wire that you see is connecting the most negative terminal to the furthest positive terminal and then onto the critical load. Okay, so that's pretty basic. And in our applications out in the field, this is mostly what we see. We see some parallel systems, very rare, but most of them are wired in series. Now,
does that wire mean something, Claude, or is it just dangling?
Which one are you talking about?
Long wire.
Yeah, that's the wire that connects the negative, most negative to the most positive and onto the critical load.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing I want to mention here too is in this scenario, this scenario provides higher system voltage, which results in lower current. Okay. And if you have lower current, it actually affects the size of the wiring. So the wiring can be thinner. Okay, in this scenario. And when you think of wire is very expensive because what does it have in it? It's got copper in it, which is a very expensive material. So, when people are planning applications, they're thinking through those things. What size wiring? That's got to be right. It's got to be accurate for many reasons.
So budget friendly.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. And this particular battery scenario is used in larger power systems. And back to my point on this is what we typically see. You can see strings up to 48 batteries all wired in series, to as low as what? What have we seen? 12, 16?
12, 16 kVA, the LXs.
Yeah. And in this
Same
case,
concept.
Yeah. In this case here, you have 6 batteries.
Yeah. And that literally looks like one of our diagrams for one of our battery modules.
Yeah.
I just did very similar for an APS battery module, and it took 6 of these.
Yeah.
12 volt, 9 amp hour, but same concept, 6 of those, and it went in series, and it's working, beautifully.
Yes. The other thing too is that's important to point out about this too. There could be some voltage drop in this because the thinner you go, the more propensity you have for a potential voltage drop, which will affect how the UPS runs.
How do you avoid that?
Well, the wire sizing.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going thinner. If you go thicker, then
that's why
you have more current going through, that kind of thing, because it can handle more current. So that's there. The other thing too is the disadvantage. There's one big one. You can't get lower voltages out of this without a converter.
That's what I was waiting for to hear. That you need that.
Yeah. So you have to add another device basically in order to drive.
And for some, some people's applications, not a problem. For some, it can be.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else on that, Elvis, you want to mention? Or you want to move on?
I'd like to add, for the series, it's important to know what you need to use it for. And we're also explaining series in parallel, and there's advantages and disadvantages for both applications for what you need to do. And I know we're going to explain it more after we give the next example and for parallel, but we need to understand that we're making a comparison, and you have to be the one to have that there where you reach out to us or we guide you through it, why this application works better than the next.
And it all starts with the device that you're trying to
power. That's the kit and caboodle right there.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and transition to image 7779311.
Is that? Did you just put my phone number for everyone to call me?
What did I say?
7779311. If I call that, am I going to get what am I?
No, but you are going to get a song by the time that came out in 1982.
Oh, no.
I'm telling you right now.
We're going back.
You don't remember that song?
80s. No.
7779311.
God, I was 1 year not available. I was on the shelves in 1983 for production. 1982 was 1 year before my time.
Yeah.
Before I showed up on the family roster.
Yeah, so look at this scenario here. So now you have...
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, you have 2 strings here that are wired in parallel.
That just hurts my back for the engineers that have to carry all those batteries.
Yeah, but they're little tiny ones.
Oh, okay.
They're like 2 little 2-volt batteries. But so you have 6 per string. And if you note the wiring, look at the first string, the one on the top. You have the positive going to the negative, and then the positive going to the negative again, all the way through the 6 battery. And then you see a wire that ties both positives, the furthest positive in each string together.
A lot of wires.
Yes. And that's how you get the 2200 amp hours.
Okay.
Because if you add that up, if you just go one string at a time, what do you have? You have 1100.
Yep.
Okay. But with strings in parallel, you have 2, and you have 1100 at the end of the second string. That cable ties those 2 strings together and gives you 2200 amp hours.
Wow.
And 12 volts. You still have 12 volts.
The volts stay, or in that case, it would be 2 if it's 2 volt, but the volt stays the same.
The volt stays
never
the same.
Changes.
The amp hours increases.
And I will add, for me personally, this can work for your application, but for me personally, I would choose series first because I'm also that's a lot of cabling, that's a lot of wires. Feels like there's more possibility of not connecting correctly. You can have some things, in my personal opinion. That's my preference.
It's a little bit more complex, if I can use that word.
Exactly.
The other thing too is one advantage in a parallel string is if one battery dies, goes dead, the string will still power itself. The batteries can still provide power. In the other example, if you have one battery die, guess what? The whole thing it's
done.
It's done. You have no battery backup.
See, and that's why you have to look at all these details, and you have to look at the pros and cons. That sounds great. One goes down, but we got
Yeah.
12 more, 11 more, you know.
But it is device driven.
It's device driven.
So in some applications, you can't get away with a parallel setup.
Okay, you can't. Yes.
You have to have some other sort of redundancies there.
So your device also dictates sometimes which one you can utilize and you can't.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's great to know.
And the other cool thing too with a parallel system is there's no limit to the number of batteries that you can wire up.
Wow.
Parallel. So we're talking obviously advantages right now.
And for amp hour, what does that also increase?
Well, runtime.
That's one of my favorite words.
Yeah.
Because my customers are.
But the interesting thing is at the end of the day, I set it up in the very beginning, is that both scenarios basically provide the same amount of energy. Okay. It's the device that's driving it.
Yep.
Okay. What scenario that you want to use. And
correct.
Of course, you know, your points of failure, like in a batteries wired in series, you're going to have an extreme point of failure if one of those batteries goes dead.
Then you have to go find it and you have to locate it. Correct.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a note. Me and Claude are not any of the batteries for our blue shirts. They can't get it twisted and be like, oh no, we're not. My wife this morning said, oh, it's a really nice shirt. It looks like you guys are staff for the Dolphins.
Oh, hey,
that's your favorite team.
That's my favorite team.
That's your favorite NFL team. And I laughed because I was like, yeah, this does kind of. She's like, no, you look like that one. She didn't even know the Dolphins. She's like, that one Florida Miami team with the pretty blue colors.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I guess we're coaches for the Dolphins now.
I didn't
me
even
and
think
you.
of that. I didn't even think of that. That's
subconsciously you chose it because that's your favorite squad.
So before we go on here, it looks like we have some stuff trickling in here.
Okay.
Why don't you hit those up, Elvis, for us?
All right, Grant Mobile. Great to have you, Mr. Grant. We know you're in Sacramento?
Rockville.
Rockville. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool looking mask. I see you both switch sides in your
we did.
in your seating today. Way to catch that. Yup. They didn't flip the screen. We flipped seats. IT manager. This has to be one of my favorite podcasts. Well, we already know who that is, so we appreciate you chiming in, and it means a lot for your support. EV fan. Same here. So he agrees with IT manager on that. Banana Man, that's probably my favorite hashtag of the month. We're not noobs.
Yes.
Not noobs hashtag. I like that. I'm going to be saying that at home. Instagram, Christina French 08. Found it. She found the link to the 17,000 on TikTok.
That's pretty amazing.
And you can hit the last one. Oh, look who just chimed in. Lucky us.
Hey, we have Leonard.
Ooh.
We have a guy by the name of Leonard Hodges from I Got My Groove Back, Arkansas. And he says also one bad battery string module can cause underlying issues to other pieces of equipment. Lenny, you're 100% correct on that one.
But give him a little context. Who's Lenny? He's not just anybody.
Yeah, he's just not. He's one of our high-profile module repair technicians.
Specialist. He's a specialist if we want to call someone that.
No, he's an expert.
Expert.
So everybody call him. Don't call us. Call him if you need an expert.
Call Lenny. Yeah. He's cheap. He only a few $100 an hour.
That's right.
He's an expert. That is a fact. All right.
Yeah. So just back on the parallel system real quick. Just a couple of disadvantages here. This scenario is not good for higher powered devices. That's one of the reasons why I said we really don't see it a lot in our applications. And just the decision is what type of device that you're trying to power. That's really what it boils down to. So if you're at greater than 3,000 watts, series would be your best bet.
Yeah.
And that's basically the world that we're operating in. Although, that's a 3 kVA. That's a 3 kVA unit. Yeah. So we sell 750 watts too. So we're below that at times. So most of it is higher than that. And then of course, general boat RV applications is where you find parallel systems.
And we do have, one off. I mean, about a month ago, an employee that worked for you guys years ago came over. I forgot his name, David or Daniel, something along those lines.
That works.
Yeah, why not? You probably worked someone like both of those guys worked for you guys. I don't remember because he told me he worked here in the shipping before Dusty. Hey, Dusty. And Dusty holds it down right now. But he said that he came just to pick up 2 batteries, 12-volt, 9-amp hour for his kids' scooters.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Just the scooters.
Yeah. Who was it? Yep.
I'm not going to give a description. It's not a mugshot, but he just said, he's like, I just came to pick up. So in that sense, if it's a boat, if it's an RV, if it's a motorcycle. We've had some one-offs. Say one guy said, I need it for my kids' ATV, four-wheeler. Sometimes we, if they need it, we don't really, Gruber, we don't say no.
Right.
We say, let's figure it out. Let's help you out. So we've had those too. But again, like you said, we usually go over 3,000 watts and up. Right. And for me, I've been delving a lot into both because I've been selling a lot of the smart ups, which fall into the range under 3 kVA. So
Hey, before we leave this question though, that Aaron had over here.
Okay, let's.
For a future podcast, we are going to hit batteries really, really hard.
Oh yeah.
We're going to spend a whole hour on batteries. There's three types that we want to talk about.
Yes.
Lithium ion. That's the latest and greatest, they say.
Yep.
And then, of course, VRLA, lead acid batteries. And then we want to talk about wet cells.
Yep.
Because all three of those batteries are strong in the industry that we're currently in.
Aaron, you opened up the can of worms, so now we're gonna take care of you. And Jesse, did you see what he said about the lithium?
No, I did not.
Oh, you didn't catch that. He took a little stab at you. He's like, we're gonna talk about lithium-ion batteries. They're the best, they say.
Well, you know what's funny is the boating. The reason why I asked the question is because I used to be a fishing guide and I'd rig all my own boats.
You got a boat?
Yeah. Well, I not right at the moment, but I used to rig all my own boats, and so I was always taught to rig our lithium batteries for the trolling motor in a series, never parallel. And I always often wondered, like, why is that?
Why that?
Yeah. And so now I know.
Yeah.
So now your boat's gonna go way faster. You're welcome.
Well, the trolling motor is a 36-volt, system, and there's times where you're cruising around the bank, and then all of a sudden at like Pleasant,
boom,
you're going, and next thing you know, out in the middle, there's stripers hitting shad on top, and you need to get there quick.
Oh, this guy's talking fishing.
Yeah, so
stripers and shad.
Yeah, so I'd have to hit the trolling motor on high bypass because you don't want to fire up your big engine and
scare the fish,
scare the school down. Yeah,
he knows.
So you'd fire it up, hit a high bypass, and I always wondered if parallel would be better for my trolling motor, and I get more longevity throughout the day on my batteries.
Wow,
well, you know what?
Striper is a type of bass.
You know what? Forget parallel. Let's just have a fishing podcast.
Let's go.
It sounds like you know a lot. Sounds like you know a lot.
When you said striper, I grew up fishing for a good 20 years because my uncle, I call him my forest father. He talked about shad, that's a type of fish, and striper is a type of bass. And Lake Pleasant stocks striper probably the most. They also have grass carp where you can go bow fishing. I'm a big fisher.
So it's hard to miss then.
Yeah. But he's right about that. The fish go off of vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's talking about, he's very correct. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that all day too, but that's a great, good to know, Aaron.
Okay, so let's switch gears to your favorite part of the podcast, which is...
Did you know?
Did you know?
We need some music in the future, like cheesy da-da-da,
Yeah, this Did You Know?
Woo.
We need our audience to really listen.
Oh, please.
Listen to this. This is some serious stuff here. Go ahead, Elvis. Hit him with number one.
And I'm going to reiterate Claude's. When you chime in, if you can tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, opinions, you were always saying, please give us your thoughts. But where you're from, we know some of you, but it's still always good to say if it's Arizona. You don't have to say I'm in my trailer or I'm in Aaron's boat. You're probably not in Aaron's boat, but just tell us where you're at. And we always love to know. So
especially the guy with the pasty, generic, vanilla IT manager. IT manager name. I mean, who writes that? Who writes IT manager?
I already know where he's at. He's in Bulgaria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Because I guess me and him are both from Bulgaria, so he's my friend now.
You know this guy.
Now I do because we're both Bulgarians, not by choice.
Well, he hit us with some technical stuff up here. Listen to what the IT manager has to say.
Okay.
Back on this again on series and parallel. To keep wire and breaker sizes and costs lower in larger UPSs, manufacturers migrate to a higher inverter input voltages, which determines the battery string voltage. DC voltage as high as 480 VDC are common, and 240 VDC, which are conveniently derivatives of a 12 VDC battery combination.
Wow.
Okay, that guy's technical.
Yeah, what language was that?
I don't know.
I didn't really catch
Nine Spreckens English.
That was techie.
Spreckens the English. You could tell he's techie. An IT manager with that.
Yeah, that was techie.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. That's what it was. Is techie. That's the language. Techie. Yeah. Wow. All right, we're gonna jump straight into Did You Know? And we're going to go straight to a country.
Yeah.
What country has the most battery manufacturing capacity? Again, we're going to ask our viewers to chime in to give us their thoughts. Let's not try to go to Google, and let's see if we can use our thinking caps. And what country has the most battery manufacturing capacity?
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Big deal for a big country.
Yeah. I mean, think of that. Battery manufacturing capacity. Who can make the most? Okay.
Ooh.
What country? And then we got another one there. So we'll look like, we'll let you guys chew on that one for a minute. We have another question here. What country has the most minerals for batteries?
Oh,
Which
wow.
country?
That's a twofer.
Yeah. Okay. We got one response back already from Leonard Hodges from I Got My Groove Back, Arkansas.
Great.
He says Vietnam. Vietnam? Close.
Getting there.
Close, but no cigar. Okay.
We got a winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, we do. We have two winners. We have Sons Fan for Life, China. We have another one from Grant Mobile, China. You guys are absolutely correct.
Yep.
And here's the thing, when you think of the United States of America and the landmass that we have, right? What's under our feet? China controls, okay? They're home to 6 of the world's 10 largest battery makers.
They run the show.
China. So in other words, everything that's coming over here that you see in all these applications, you know what? Those batteries are probably made China.
And you know how many gigawatts of hour? 900 gigawatts hours, or let's put it in good perspective,
goodness.
77% of the global total, which goes to your home of the 6 world's biggest battery makers.
That should make us think. And when I say us, I'm talking the United States.
Oh, yeah.
That should make us really, really think hard about what it is we got going in America, because they control the lion's share of the capacity.
And
China
Grant
has.
Mobile gave the answer for question for did you know number 1 and 2. What country has the most minerals? It is China again, and they control 41% of the world's cobalt mining and most mining for lithium. We did discuss the other lithium where they're mining in Vegas, you said, or Nevada.
Yeah.
But China's again running. They take number 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're running the show right now. They're running the show.
Number 3. What minerals are found in rechargeable batteries? Let's see. There's a good amount. I think there's 10 of them that we have listed, and we challenge anyone to throw out some of the minerals and to see what it is. It's not salt. It's not sugar. It ain't pepper.
Yes.
So it's something else. And then go ahead with number 4, Mr. Claude.
Number 4, what country has the most renewable energy capacity? What country has the most renewable energy capacity?
And you can tell them who it's not this time for once.
And it's not China.
Finally. They're not on the board for once on something.
Well, let me restate that. It's not this particular type of renewable.
Okay.
Okay, so let me be specific. So we in a prior podcast we went over the different types of renewable energy.
Okay.
So for those people that saw that podcast, think through that before you answer that question.
Okay. Do you want to give them one of the 2 renewable energies that you're referring to?
Yeah, solar would be one.
Solar. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which we're going to get to that. That's the whole point behind that image in the backdrop there with the sun.
Awesome. Why don't you rattle off now some of the number 3, what minerals are found in rechargeable batteries? And even Jesse, Richard, Aaron, if you think you know any without jumping to Google, feel free to chime in on any, and you can't look at my screen, so I won't give you the answers. If you guys think you guys know some too. Claude, why don't you go with the last one? Because I don't even know how you call that one.
Vanadium?
Vanadium?
Yeah, vanadium.
I don't even know what that is. That sounds like something you buy at Fry's when you need it for a headache.
Yeah, it sounds like some sort of drug.
Seriously, yeah. Take 2 of these.
Is cobalt on that list?
Yes.
Yep, that's one of them.
Yes, that's a big one, actually.
Ding, ding, ding. Ooh, everyone went silent.
What about nickel?
Yes.
Yes.
Nickel's on that list.
Are you using Bing.com?
No cheating.
No cheating, right? Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah. So I'll give you one. It was mentioned earlier, lithium.
Lithium.
That's one.
We went through nickel and cobalt. You said the one we don't know what it's about, vanadium.
Yeah, and the one I mentioned earlier too, the VRLA battery. What does that have in it? It has lead in it, right?
Lead.
So you got graphite right
You
there.
got graphite.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Iron.
Ooh.
No iron.
No, but that's good for your diet.
Yeah.
Good call,
Good.
Richard.
Great to know.
That's good. Get your iron levels up and stable.
So we got manganese, which is
Yeah,
another
Grant
one.
just said that one. Yeah, we're still getting the questions.
Ooh.
Okay,
we got 'em.
We got it.
Grant,
We got aluminum.
magnesium, okay, and manganese and magnesium,
Yeah. We got
aluminum,
aluminum. We have tin,
tin, okay, and the last one.
tantalum.
Yep.
Tantalum.
I don't even know how. I really don't know about
That's
half of
1,
these.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's
There-
11
11.
11
Oh, right.
minerals.
And then Grant took a shot at the number 4. What country has the most renewable energy capacity? And it's not England, but
Oh.
it does have the same last 3 letters, if that
Yeah.
helps. I'm
Yeah.
giving a lot of clues today, feeling gracious, but it does
Well, the last 4
last
letters.
4 actually.
Yeah,
You're
last
right.
4 letters.
Yeah, it's part of that. It's a two. It's a two-part.
And we'll give you another hint. It's smaller than most.
Is it Thailand?
No. Ooh, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
Switzerland,
No.
No.
Poland.
No.
I'm just gonna go with all the lands.
Yeah.
And you get probably the only one you're not going
And
to get. You're going to miss. Watch.
and remember this particular country. Check it out, because we're trying to transition. When I say we, the U.S., the United States, and most of the world's trying to transition to renewables, right? This country is at 86% already.
They run 86%.
That's what's driving their
Almost
their
87.
I think it's New Zealand.
Oh, close,
No.
but no.
No. Oh.
No. Yeah. I didn't know this.
Okay,
I just
here we
got
go.
I got the cheat
We're
sheet.
going to do the countdown.
Okay.
5, 4,
Drum roll.
3, 2, 1. Iceland.
Ooh. You
Iceland.
guys had a lot of them, but not that one.
Yeah, and 87% of their energy comes from hydroelectric.
Jesse, was that your next guess?
Yeah, I was gonna go for Greenland first though, because I get those confused all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Ooh,
Yeah.
Grant Mobile or Scotland.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of lands that I didn't even realize in countries.
Yeah,
From Rockland, California, 18 miles east of Sacramento.
seems to be a lot of
Perfect.
Garias and Romanias too. Bulgaria, Romania, all that.
No, they're not
Okay.
Lando.
All right, now the big one we wanted to talk
Ooh.
about, okay, is what country is harnessing the power of the sun? Before you answer, look at that image in the backdrop. Okay, this image was taken in Kauai as the sun was going down. I watched this thing go from what the sun normally looks like, okay, a ball, you can see it, to this image that almost turned into a UFO. That's
Wow.
that's what it kind of looks like, a UFO. But this is the sun going down in Kauai on this particular day. It was just incredible. So when I saw this image, it's like the power of the sun. How are we using that? It's a renewable, right? Who's using it? So what country is harnessing the power of the sun right now?
Claude, I struggle with this image
Yeah, why?
because every time I see it, I want to go on vacation, and I'm here on the backdrop just looking at it and can't dip my toes in the sand or in
I
the
know,
water because
I
that is
know.
gorgeous.
It was incredible.
And we decided to pick it. I didn't even know you wanted this one. I said, "Hey, you sent me a few," and I said, that's the winner."
And if you look really close, there's
Beautiful.
humans. There's humans sitting on those rocks. If you look really, really close, there's
Say it.
humans. Okay, so which country is harnessing the power of the sun? Okay, that's the question.
Top 3.
Yep, hold on, we got some guesses coming in.
Ooh, most solar.
Okay, Christina, you are correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Christina French from where's Christina from?
She didn't
YouTube.
tell us.
She's on YouTube.
She's on
YouTube?
YouTube.
Okay, but what city?
France.
France? Okay. Oh, there you go. That's a good one. That one came late, but I got it now. Okay, so let's talk about this. Seriously, you look at that image of the sun right there. China, that's correct. China is at 31.7% of the world in solar. Okay.
Grant, if we were giving out prizes, he would have had them all.
Now check it out.
Wow.
What do you typically hear about China when it comes to climate? Huh? I heard someone. What do you typically?
Cool.
Exactly. And what's going on with their sky? that it's all just messed up, right?
It is, yeah. It's
But yet,
amazing.
but yet in the north and northwest portion of that country, they're harnessing more solar power than anyone else in the world.
also in sections
and
of
we've
China.
got some serious detail on this too.
Wow.
Put in 99 Panda, that image.
While you put that image in, you guys had some comments to make in the back? Okay, I thought I heard you guys wanted to chime in on something.
Look at this thing here. Okay, this solar farm, this is China. This
That's
solar
a
farm
solar farm.
was built back in 2018
Wow.
on 250 acres of land.
Kung Fu Panda.
Okay. Their plans from 2018 to now was to build 100 of these in China. 100. So this one was built, at the time it was the largest one in that particular country. But there's panel after panel after panel. Put in 69 Panda.
There's a lot of pandas in China.
Yeah, 69 Panda. Okay, look at this scenario. This is China. This is a combination of a solar farm and a hydroelectric farm. Okay, that is absolutely incredible.
That's not Grand Canyon?
No, that is not the Grand Canyon. So they're harvesting water as well as the sun in this application right here. And by the way, as far as percent, the U.S. is at 16%, and then followed by Japan at 8.4%. China produces 430 gigawatts. That's the largest producer of solar in the world.
Largest producer.
And again, the top 6 solar companies are in China. The other thing that's amazing, that's kind of scary too, is when you get back down to what it takes to make a solar panel, the minerals. Let's talk about that for a second. There's a mineral called MGS. It's metallurgical grade silicon. Do you know where 70% of that mineral is harvested right now?
China. That's the
China. It's scary. And then the components of the solar panel itself.
And the rest just get 30%.
Exactly.
Crazy.
The 3 different components, you have wafers. Okay? China produces 97% of those wafers worldwide. You have the cells inside the panel itself. China produces 85% of those cells. You have the modules. They're polysilicon. China produces 75% of those modules. And it's only 3.5% of their energy, that they produce. Solar is only 3.5%. They have all of that going on. It's like a $47 billion investment.
Man.
Okay. So what does that tell you about fossil fuel? They're still like at 97% fossil fuel.
It takes over. It's still.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's an amazing scenario. Put in 79 Panda real quick.
Okay. Oh, there's another panda. Let's find him.
Hey, there's
two of them.
There's a couple more right there. Another solar farm. I mean, look at the real estate that this is taking up and the acreage.
But even the design and the preparation to make it the shape of a panda is just so fascinating. Look at that.
Yes, and then one more we have. It's 89 Panda.
Panda 89. This is the boss of all the pandas.
Okay.
A lot of pandas.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the number of panels? This is the largest solar farm in the world. Are you ready for the number of panels in this solar farm? Anybody want to get? How many?
More than 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 100,000.
It's like 1,000.
You got 100,000.
I say 850,000.
Okay.
I'm going to say 100,001.
Price is right.
Okay, what Elvis just said is interesting. He said, I'm doing 850,000 and I'm going
big or go home.
See, everybody's big is different.
Grant says 3 million.
Oh, that's a great guess right there.
Oh.
That's a great guess. 4 million.
No, Grant, you took it from me.
But think of that. Think of that. The construction of this apparatus.
3 million.
The number of men, of people that put this together, and then the whole testing of this thing. Okay, I mean, 4 million panels.
Claudia, you didn't put that on the cheat sheet for me, so I didn't know. I guessed.
Just this one site, though. Just this one site. Just one.
So we didn't even guess the other three we just saw.
Okay, so let's dial this back to the United States and our position in renewables. We're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Wow.
Nowhere in America do you have something like that. Nowhere. That's the largest farm in the world, solar farm. So China is trying to come up in solar. Basically, they're the leader of the world right now in all energy, in all forms of energy. You get right down to it.
And then we're going to talk about the rare earth minerals.
Yeah. Rare earth minerals that are inside of these solar panels, what it takes to produce them. You've got arsenic, gallium, germanium, indium, beryllium, aluminum, and then those rare earth elements that we addressed
last time
in a former podcast. And who has those? China has those. You know, so when you think about our position in the renewable market, and you think about the costs associated with this, I mean, you really, really, really scratch your head.
I promise this is not a China podcast.
No, it isn't.
But they just keep coming up because it's really relevant to what they do. And the last one, Mr. Cobalt himself.
Yes.
And that's what we worked with. Okay, Claude.
Yeah.
Are you ready to put on your planet hat, your astrology hat?
I think so. Where are you going?
We're going to take Elon Musk's SpaceX.
Okay.
And we're going to learn something today. Because it's the Did You Know segment. We're still in that.
Yeah.
I love it. So, the Earth to the sun. Does anyone know, again, let's see if you guys are going to jump on Google or not, how many miles we share between the Earth and the sun? How many miles? And it's not 1 mile, and it ain't 10 miles.
There goes my guess.
No, yours is 3. That's your lucky number, 3 miles or
in
more.
In Phoenix, it's 3.
Yeah, 3, yeah. If you guys can guess. And then Earth to Venus, Earth to Mars. Remember that movie? Earth to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's from Earth to the sun. Then there's Earth to Venus and Earth to Mars. And this is for a reason to understand how powerful the sun is.
Yes.
And how much we need it and depend on it.
Right.
And how much we depend on power.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Mr. Grant Mobile says 93 million miles. He's the closest.
Yeah.
And it's 94 million miles from the Earth to the sun.
94 million.
94 million.
Mm-hmm.
Venus to Earth is 27 million. Mars is the farthest. That's why Mars is uninhabitable for its reasons of 225 million.
225 million miles away from the Earth.
Earth.
And there's reasons why we're giving you that scenario from Earth to Venus and then Earth to Mars because of this fun fact that Elvis is getting ready to get
So
ready
the
to
fun fact, because how hot it is in Venus.
Well, tell them the temperature first, though.
Okay. So in Venus, it's 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where you want to cook your steaks.
Yes. Quickly.
0.00 God knows what seconds.
What kind of well done steak is that?
It's a fried steak.
Don't let anybody let Elvis near a grill. Okay?
No, we call that horse leather. That's not a steak anymore. That's just chewing till you pass out. Then this one is the opposite side. Mars. If you guys want a really cold beverage or a slushie, you guys should take a trip to Mars because it's negative 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's a freezer if you ever heard of one.
But here's what's unique about Mars. I'm reading about Mars.
Let's go.
There's times during the year where Mars is at 70 degrees for 5 minutes.
So,
okay.
5 minutes.
Degrees.
So when it's hot here, we can go there on vacation.
But I mean, that's pretty remarkable for being that far away from the sun.
That quick, there's 70 degrees, and then it'll jump, like you said, to negative.
Yes.
That's how intense it is. And this is why we rely on the sun. And this is the reason why we set it up for this. If the sun, so remember we said 94 million miles is what separates us, Earth, from the sun. If the sun was approximately 930,000, not even 1 million miles, 930,000 miles away from Earth, we would freeze. We'd be done. They say even an inch would affect the climate and it could be uninhabitable on Earth, but that would make us freeze in an instant. Without the sun, you know how long the Earth would survive if we didn't have sun, if we had no daylight?
Not
Up to
long.
1 week, they say.
Yeah.
The most you can survive without the sun is 1 week. And then if the sun was 3 million miles closer, that's where we'd get a tan that we wouldn't ask for.
Yeah.
Because we'd burn up, and that's where all the steaks would be well done within seconds. And it's about 3 million miles from the surface of the temperature of the sun. So the surface of the sun, we hold 3 million miles between us. Do you know what the Fahrenheit is of the surface of the sun?
I used to know. I don't know now.
248 Fahrenheit degrees. That's how hot it is. And that's how powerful the sun is. And that's how much we rely on it. And it's the whole key of reliance on something. And it has to be done the right way.
Yeah.
That's the whole point why we're saying this and why we're bringing it to the UPS.
Right.
There's a detail. If you miss one detail, even in a UPS, if you put something in parallel instead of series, you got problems.
Yeah.
If you put a single phase in a 3-phase, it's not good.
Right.
If you put a battery that shouldn't be there, you can really go catastrophic. And that's why it's so
the
important.
details matter.
Minute details.
And
That's why.
And just to top this off, the power of the sun that is untapped right now. I mean,
Yes.
it's just untapped,
Huge.
especially here in America, and there's a lot of politics around it, in terms of the investment cost. But I'm sorry to say, there's other countries that are sprinting in this area, and we're getting left behind. So we're going to leave it at that.
Yes.
And we're gonna move on here.
And that's why we rely on that, and we're just always here to educate how much we rely on certain things. Perfect example, if you don't mind me chiming in, how important it is. And it's going to chime into the next segment of the show as we wrap it up. This is so important. I went to a customer this week. A local bank has a few branches. I won't name them. I went for a site visit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what was the craziest thing I've ever seen, Claude?
Don't ask me that question. But anyway,
It's scary.
Yeah.
What do you think? Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Banks is what we rely on. That's where our money stays and everything. They don't have what?
They don't have surveillance.
No. They actually had that problem.
Well, because I was gonna. These guys here, they hear that, they might disappear. Jesse and
what do you think they don't have? I asked them, what happens when you guys go down?
Yeah.
So we go buy a gas generator. A bank does not have what? What are we talking about? A UP.
Thank you for doing the head thing.
I'm patient.
That's what got me going.
I'm patient. I'm working with you.
A UPS.
A bank,
Mm-hmm.
a certain sector, a certain industry.
But what do they do when they lose their systems? What did you ask them that question?
Yeah, you want to hold on?
Yeah.
You about to hold on?
Yeah.
They said if it's past a certain threshold of hours where they have if it's weather related,
They go home.
no.
What?
Yes. Or the guy gets one of the generators, gas-powered generator, and he puts gas in it, and he goes to all the banks, and he puts it on for a few minutes, or turns it on until hopefully whatever. That's what they do. He goes around with a generator he could buy at Costco, for a bank, for a company, for a business that should not be going down, that should be servicing.
Is this a single branch or is this a multiple branches?
Multiple branches in local Arizona.
That's an opportunity.
And that's where I went. And I just talked to him. I said, guys, there's just a bigger problem. I went there for another issue. And then my the mission critical mindset just turned on.
Let me guess what this issue was. So you said you went to the bank for another issue.
Yeah.
Your money wasn't there.
No, I don't bank with them.
Okay.
And honestly, when I found out they didn't have a UPS, I'm like, thank God I don't bank with them. Because they got my money and I don't. So I was like, no. I want to make sure. And the bank that I do go with, they do have UPSs. So and generators. So I was like, okay, it's set up right.
Yeah.
So, and that makes me feel good. If you have all your ducks in a row and everything is taken care of. No. And honestly, that was another thing. I was like, yeah, man, you guys, that was scary.
What was the outcome? Like when you left, how'd you leave it with them?
I said, hey, none of the banks are backed up. We're going to have to solve this. I said, and before you want to fix your little lighting issue, there's a lot more stuff. You guys put the carriage in front of the horse, I told them. I said, we have to work this out. You said this on the first podcast ever. that I was on. I think it was the fourth one, where you said to have a mission critical mindset, to have everything, data center solutions. So when you come in there, you have a problem solving, and you're helping out. And you have to have the most basic things. It just blew my mind.
Well, not just us. I mean,
anyone.
Yeah, anyone, because we're in the business. So
Yes.
But then again, I'm making that statement. We're in the business. There's people in the business that don't have the mission critical mindset.
Well, we're talking about exactly, but in a business mindset, it was just ridiculous. So let's jump into that next part.
Yeah, I want to since we're talking about that. Elvis did the segue into the mission critical mindset. Can you put in 8675309? Yeah, image 8675309.
What? What? Claude, what are you doing? What image?
8675309.
No, that's not how you did it. You guys, do you guys know this? Richard, Jesse, do you guys know this?
I just know that it's the song.
mean, I know the image.
You know the song?
Okay, this image right here says what Elvis was talking about at that bank.
8675309.
Yeah.
There it is.
Easy one for you guys to remember. Look at this. This is exactly what Elvis was talking about in his site visit. This is what those folks are doing there. Okay, look at the face of Wylie. Wylie is totally what? Confident. He's totally confident.
Convinced.
I mean, he's convinced that he's doing this thing right. How many people do you know like that?
That's so true.
How many people do you know
They think
in
they
this
have it
business?
figured out.
They think they have it all figured out, but instead of lighting the fuse, they're lighting their derriere.
They're blowing things up.
Yes. Okay.
Wow.
Which leads us to the mission critical mindset. You can take that image off, Jesse, if you'd like.
That's just wild.
You know, the business that we're in, the mission critical industry, it is a highly stressful business. When a customer's UPS goes down, like at the Federal Reserve, like at a casino or at a mine, I mean, it is like having a coronary. Okay, it is that serious. And it doesn't always happen during business hours when all your resources are available. So, you know, part of this mission critical mindset is to have a 24/7 kind of like
Solution.
makeup, you know, kind of like a makeup.
Yep.
My phone, just personally speaking, my phone is on 24/7. I'll take a call at 2 a.m. in the morning because I understand that that's the business I'm in. Now, there's many people that work in our industry that do not have the mission critical mindset. Yep. And it's something that we're trying to shift, we're trying to change, but you got to have that. You know, questions to consider. How critical is the work? You know, when you're thinking about some of the sites that you have, we may have them under contract. There's a big difference between the Federal Reserve and a law firm that, you know, that's open from 8 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing. So there's differences in the type of business. And do I know the systems that are in there? And what else does it affect down the line? You think of a casino. Surveillance goes out in the bingo room or the poker room.
Oh, wow.
You can imagine the chaos that's going on behind.
Lights go out.
Yeah.
The machines are down.
Yes.
You're already talking about, I love how you're jumping into these sectors already.
Yeah. Yes.
It's so important that we don't realize how many things we rely on because they're just there.
Yeah.
But when you pull the curtain back.
Yes. And where did these sectors come from? The mission critical sectors. You know, do you remember 9/11? Remember that when that whole thing took place?
That's where it started.
There was no umbrella for mission critical apparatus.
There was no backup. Nope.
Until that terrorist attack, the government came up with the Department of Homeland Security, and within that department, you have 16 mission critical sectors. So if you can put in slide 16, Jesse, we'll go ahead and show you where they are. We don't have the time in this podcast to go down through all 16 of them, but we're going to in the next podcast. So you can look at the essential critical infrastructure workers, and you can pretty much find basically where we are. And also, when I look at this, I go, how many of these sectors do we service?
Yes, I love it.
And we are basically, when I say we, Gruber Power Services basically is in most of them. Not all of them, but pretty much most of them. We service clients in each one of these sections.
I want to say all.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for broke. I'm going Hail Mary. I think between Gruber Power and all the employees and the account managers that are fantastic, I think we service them all. As I just divvy through them, I almost hit the entire cube myself within at least just one customer in each box. I think we do them all.
Yeah. One I want to hit on, though, before we close out the podcast is the commercial facility sector. I don't know if you all remembered a few years, maybe it was more than a few years ago, maybe like 8 years ago, the Super Bowl that took place in Louisiana and Baton Rouge. The lights went out. And the first question I asked was, where's the backup lights? This is the Super Bowl. Any.
They didn't have any.
Of course, we immediately get on the phone and you know, someone beat us to the punch there.
I know who.
Who? You're not going to mention any names? Okay.
No.
Got it.
But I know who. I know he's in our industry. He's a great, you know the world. He's been in it longer than I have. I know who beat us to the punch, and I know who, who brought a pod and took care of it.
Yeah. But the thing that, the point I want to make too, it's interesting too. You think of the Super Bowl, you think that everything is covered, all the details are, but even if it's high profile, it doesn't necessarily mean everything is covered. So you got to like get in there and ask questions and dig and find the right points of contact, that kind of thing.
Those questions.
Yeah. Yeah. But in that sector alone, I mean, there's a lot in that sector. You have public assembly, which is arenas, stadiums, zoos, aquariums, museums, convention centers. You have the professional sports leagues. You have casinos. You have hotels, motels, conference centers,
zoos, animals, wildlife.
There is a lot to it. There is a lot of exposure out there when you really dig in and understand these sectors. So it gets back to the mission critical mindset. You know, if you're selling something, if you're selling a service contract and you say you're going to be there in 4 hours, 8 hours, or whatever you're committing to, when it's time to play the game, you need to be there. I mean, this is serious business. People lose money. These businesses lose money, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're in that game of we keep the lights on for the lights.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We try to do that. As cliche as it is, that's what we do. We take care of our customers. And you hear probably every single day or a few times a week from when the account managers come in and tell you, check out this customer. Yeah. Check out what we just did.
Well, the flip side. The flip side too. You're right. I do hear a lot of that, and I'm hearing a lot more of that from our account managers, which is wonderful. But I also hear the bad news. When there's a UPS that goes down, and I learned how it affected that operation. Yeah. That's really where the mission critical mindset comes in. It's you have to put yourself in the shoes of that IT manager whose system is down, right, who doesn't have any other place to go to other than you. That kind of thing, your company. And I tell the field engineers all the time, actually I tell the team all the time, I go, that's the moment of truth. It's not the static business that we do where you just go out as scheduled. You go out and you do a PM, you come home, you go home, right? Yep. No, it's that emergency call when that UPS is down. Now we're playing the game. It's the moment of truth. That's what the customer is really going to remember about the company, whether or not you're good, exceptional, or poor.
Very true.
Yeah. So hit that raffle one more time before we close it out.
I was just going to go to that. And you know what? Something came to my mind.
Okay.
I'm feeling it again, Claude. You ready?
I'm ready.
What if we hit 500 subscribers before September 1st? I think, and you can agree with me now, I'm going to put you on the spot, so you have to agree with me. We do that day. The day we hit 500 and we have that week, our podcast, we can do the raffle then.
Okay, so we just come on and do the raffle? Are the production guys okay
on
with
that Friday.
Okay.
On the Friday of that week, if we do it by, let's say, next week already, because we still have, about two weeks left.
2.5 weeks. You're right. You're right.
And if see, it takes you an hour, but I can convince you.
I got it.
Yeah. I'm thinking if we can do it by then, let's say it's August 30th, August 28th, and we already have 500, we'll do the raffle then. But our cutoff and the deadline is September 1st. And again, Claude just showed you a few of the things we're going to raffle. And we're going to do it as a gift bag. And it's a few extra things we're going to give in there too that we're not going to mention that I think is really resourceful. One of them I used when we went to Grand Canyon, the Grand View. I needed it as a portable device, and I used it for that hike, and it helped me for what I needed it. And it was from Gruber because they gave me one. So I use it. And we didn't showcase that. And that's something else we're going to include.
Okay. That sounds like a plan.
Just to remember, 500 subscribers by September 1st, the latest. And I believe Everyone can do it. And the last 2 comments, and we're going to wrap it up, if you're good with it, Claude, is backup power. Christina French, she was right about the bank.
From France?
Yeah, Miss France herself. She said, oh, they didn't have backup power. She guessed correctly. And Grant Mobile is loving your voice. Says, sing it, Claude, for the 867-5309.
Oh, that's nice.
There
That's
we
nice.
go.
Okay. Well, that's it for this week. We will see our wonderful, beautiful audience next Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.